everybody, and welcome to the Angela Anderson Show, where we are helping moms live their dream while taking care of their families. I'm so excited that you've joined me today. Today we have an interesting topic. It's something that I've talked about before on social media, but something that's just in my heart to share. And it's talking about the balancing act. The balancing act. As moms, we try to balance the things in our lives. So today I want to talk about that. And I want to introduce a new concept to you. But before we do that, let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll get right into it. If you're looking for a devotional that is down to earth and lighthearted, Just When I Thought I Knew God is the book for you. It's a 40-day devotional journal with an area for you to write notes after each daily devotional. It makes a great gift for yourself, for family, or loved ones, or for that special mom in your life. And by the way, Mother's Day is right around the corner. So if you're looking for that devotional book, here it is. It's available now on Amazon and in Kindle format. Purchase your copy today. All right. Well, we're back. And before I left, just a moment ago, we said something about balancing, the balancing act. And the reason why I'm thinking about this so much is because for those of you who know me well, you know that my background is in human resources, and within the human resources realm, we want to, make sure that that work life is going well for the employees, that the work environment is going well for management, for everyone. Basically, we're just trying to create that space where everyone is excited to come to work and everybody wants to, be happy. So for the longest time, there was this notion of work-life balance, and I'm sure you've heard of this before. And it's basically where you are making sure that you're spending a good amount of time in, every area of your life, right? So, they're saying like, don't be a workaholic. Make sure you're having fun on the other side of this, and make sure you're spending time with your family, and just balance it all, And what they say is that, when you find this balance, productivity will be higher, absenteeism will be lower, everyone will be just healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, just everything will be in perfect order if you find this balance. And so for the longest time, and again, I've been in HR for 20 plus years. I would have to say I was searching for this balance. I would go from day to day looking for it and preaching it, telling everybody that this is what we need to do. And if we could just do this and everyone can just fall in line, this will work, And so I think when I became a mom, I tried to transfer this notion into my mom life, and all of us, we as moms, that we're here, there, everywhere. And there are things that come up unexpectedly, whether it's your life, whether it's your kid's life. And if you have multiple children, you've got multiple lives. If you have a spouse, you've got that life. And there's so many different areas, compartments for this balance thing, you know? So there came a time when I got a little bit frustrated, got a little bit discouraged. And I started thinking about this thing. I'm like, you know, balance your life, balance your job, balance your family, balance your kids, balance your spouse, balance your side hustle, balance your just this whole notion about balance. I'm not gonna lie, it was driving me crazy. Okay, driving me crazy. And so I thought about it for a second. Now, does balance really exist? Let's think about that for a second. Does balance really exist? Some of you might say, "Oh, sure, maybe I'm balanced, here, there, everywhere." But think about it for just a moment. Balance, by definition, balance is an even distribution of weight, right? Enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. Now let's think about that for a second. An even distribution, allowing someone, like a mom, to remain upright and steady. So let me ask you this way, by a show of hands, and of course I can't see you right now. Have you ever, as a mom, felt balanced? Anyone? Okay. I think that's my answer. For me personally, I have never felt this balance that I was driving myself crazy looking for. And I think as a result of that, I started to feel like I was failing. And I started to feel like I just wasn't doing something right. And what could it be? Is it poor time management? Is it poor skills? Is it poor organizational, just everything going through my head, making lists, writing things down, trying to be, the best mom possible and, best at everything that I'm doing. And I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. And so finally it occurred to me that this balance thing, this balance notion, is just not practical. It's just not practical. And so something else that I decided to incorporate in my life and to adopt in my mind is the notion of blending. Blending the domains of my life. And so you might be thinking, what does that mean exactly? Blending the domains of your life. So let's think of it like this. The other day, I went into this shop, and my husband and I like to go to this shop every now and then. I'm calling it a shop because it's like it's a place that makes they make smoothies, like fruit smoothies. They make like bowls, like acai bowls and protein bowls. They added flatbreads to their menu. So it's like one of those spots where you go in there and you get like a small meal, or if you're just in the mood for, a bowl or a smoothie or something along those lines. Okay. So, so on this particular day, we went in there, my husband and I, and the way that this place is set up, it's kind of cool. So they have specific lines that you could stand in. You've got, if you're going to order something heavy like the flatbreads or from that menu, you can stand to the left. If you're going to do bowls, you stand kind of in the middle. And then they have this line over to the right. And it's kind of split in two, and it's for smoothies. So if you stand in one of those lines, you pick from the menu. So they have a menu of various smoothies that are already created. They're already designed. And so I believe there's maybe about 6 or 7 choices. So if you stand in that line, you just say, okay, I would like a number 2, or I would like a number 6. Most people were standing in that line because, it's not a lot of thinking. You just kind of, look at see if you like it. And if you like it, you order it. Now, all the way on the right, there was a line, and it was create your own. Create your own. And guess what? I found myself in that line, and actually find myself in that line all the time because I get to create my own smoothie. So whatever blend they have on the menus or in the other spots, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm creating my own. So I stood in line. And by the way, each time I do something a little bit different because it really depends on the mood I'm in. It depends on what's going on with me at that moment, if you follow me. So this particular day, I said, okay, I'm going to have some banana in my smoothie. Add some blueberries in there. And I also added some kale. I know some of you might be like, ooh, kale, but actually it's very good. I put some pineapple in there. I think chia seeds, maybe. They added some almond milk for me, vanilla almond milk, and a little bit of protein powder. And they blended it all together. Put it in a cup, put it on put a straw in that cup, and gave it to me. And it was delicious. So that blend on that day was just for me. My husband stood in the other line, and I think he ordered like a 5 or a 6. And every now and then he'll create his own blend as well. But as I said, whenever I go in there, it just depends on the circumstances, on my mood, what I feel like. And that is the blend that I order for me. And so that is the same thing that I'm trying to convey to you at this moment. A lot of times in the life of a mom, we might be going through different circumstances. Life throws so many things in your direction, and it's not always the same. As I said before, you have your own life. You know this. If you have a spouse, he has his own life. And then you have your marriage. If you're single, there are other areas that you have to consider. And then you have your personal life, which may include friends and those relationships. And then, of course, your children. And if you have multiple children, let's just say they're all in sports. My youngest, he's in soccer, and he does gymnastics at his school. My oldest, he's in karate, and he decided to also do flag football this year, and he's doing the violin. So all of those things, if you're a soccer mom, if you're a sports mom, if you're carting your kids here, there, everywhere, all of those things are blended together in your life. And that's not including your own work life. If you have a job, that's not including, as I said before, your marriage and, your husband's life, and how that's all fits together in your home life. And so When we say blend the domains of your life, blend the domains of your life, what I'm simply saying is instead of trying so hard to find this balance and to feel like you're failing miserably, consider blending these different areas of your life together. Let me give you another example of that. So the other day, and mind you, as moms, I know that we want to spend time, with our children, especially when they need us the most, and especially when they're asking us to. And so on this particular day, it was my 5-year-old son, and I just got home and I had all these things to do, and I knew I had to prepare dinner. And so he said, "Mommy, can you play with me?" You know, and I would love to. I would love to at that moment just get down on the floor with him, do whatever he wanted me to do with him, have a good time, watch him laugh and smile and giggle. But I couldn't, because I knew, I looked at the watch, the clock, I looked at my watch, and I knew I had to get dinner ready, right, in order to get everybody fed and ready for bed for the end of that day. So all of a sudden, I had an idea, and I looked at him and I said, "Hey, do you want to cook with me? You want to help me make dinner?" And he's so excited. Yes, yes, I do. I do. And then my other son heard what was going on here, and he goes, "I want to help. I want to help too." And especially if it's their favorite meal. So I said, "All right, guys, go wash your hands and meet me in the kitchen," right? And so both of them went to wash their hands. And as we were making one of their favorite dishes, which happens to be salmon cakes, for those of you who know those two and what they love. And we just started from scratch. And let's see, I got the canned salmon out. I did all the hard parts. I preheated the oven, and they were just content being with me in the kitchen. I was content being with them next to me in the kitchen. They were putting in the spices, they were measuring, they were pouring, they were stirring, and they were spending time together. Those two, they were spending time with me. I was spending time with them. And we were blending the domains of our lives. Instead of me trying to worry about, "Oh no, I can't spend time with my child right now because I have to do this task or this chore." I hate to call it a chore, but making dinner is something that has to be done. Instead of living in regret, like, "Oh man, if only this, or maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have ordered out, made it easier, da da da." And sometimes maybe you should, you know. Again, it's about finding the blend that works for you. Finding the blend that works for you. So that's just one example of blending the domains of your life. Another example, there are times when I have to do some work on my laptop. Most of you know I am a life coach for moms, and that requires quite a bit of planning, looking at the curriculum and, reaching out to clients and doing things of that nature. And so as I'm sitting there at the table, quite possibly my oldest son has some homework. And so I'm like, "Hey, you want to sit down next to me and do your homework? Why don't you sit on that side of the table? I'll sit over here, and we'll both do our work together." Or maybe it's that the kids are playing right behind you while you're sitting there trying to get something done, you know? So again, it's like a blend. Now, there are times when you're going to put all of your work away and you're going to say, "Hey kids, let's go out," even with your spouse, date night, or just you and me. Okay. Put everything else away. Again, that would be the example of going and ordering your smoothie with like 100% a banana smoothie, period. That's all you want, right? So again, there are times when it's going to be all about the family and no work. And then there are going to be times when it's the opposite, when you have to say to the kids, you know what? Mommy needs time to do XYZ. Mommy needs time alone. Mommy needs time to finish these tasks. And then they will go their way and set up and do something else. And then you'll go ahead and do what you have to do. And again, it's a different blend. So you are finding the blend that works for you. So, I will say this, right? This type of the examples, they can go on, and some of these might even sound familiar to you. And let me say this. Let me share a secret with you. Come closer. Come closer. A lot of you are already doing this. You are already doing this in your life, this blending. Okay, you've already said, okay, this balancing thing, not quite working, but maybe you were still trying to achieve it. And then you've started this blending. Listen, we as moms, we are so intuitive. We are so creative. We just come up with things on the fly, just like that, because we are so accustomed to making things work. So I would suggest that some of you are already doing this. I just want to tell you that your life as a mom is unique. So, and last week we talked a little bit about this in terms of comparing. Let's not do that, because everybody's blend is going to look different. Remember the example of the going to the shop and the smoothie, getting the smoothie? I bet you my smoothie looked completely different than the person in front of me, who looked completely different than the person behind me, because we were creating our own blend. And as a mom, as you're going day to day, as you're living your life, as you're enlarging your family, who knows, having more kids, because remember, I remember having one child, and my kids are like 5.5, 6 years almost apart, going so long, having one child, and thinking, oh man, I don't know if we can add another. What would we do? And, I'd hear from other moms, it's so much easier when you have 3 or 4 kids. And I would say, oh, I bet it is. But, again, and not saying anything with moms with multiple kids, I have so much respect for you. I do. So I had my additional child at 2 total, and it was very different. It was very different. Just trying to make it work, trying to rearrange the schedules, my husband and I trying to incorporate their lives and our lives and what had to be done. And then nursing, and then dropping off at daycare, picking up. And, for one of my kids, I was home, even being a stay-at-home, it's 24/7, 24/7. You don't stop. It's work nonstop. So again, your life as a mom is unique. You have to find the blend that works for you. And for those of you who haven't embraced this letting go of the balance, I would ask that you would try it. Try it. Do what's called a paradigm shift. Have you heard of this? Paradigm shift. And I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but I do want to explain it just a little bit, just in case you're not familiar with a paradigm shift. So a paradigm shift, all that is changing your perspective on a situation, right? It's just looking at it from a different vantage point, from a different point of view. And I think paradigm shifting was made popular, and perhaps it was made popular by someone else, but I learned about it years ago when I read one of Stephen Covey's books. Have you heard of Stephen Covey? He wrote the book, I think it's like um, 7 habits of effective people. And again, I'm botching the title, but it's a book that talks about what are the things, what are the habits that allow people to be successful and effective in life. And so a paradigm shift, and here's an example of that. And he wrote about this in the book. So um, it's a scenario. Okay. So there is a dad and he's on a bus, and I'm paraphrasing, by the way, and he's got about 3 kids or so with him. And they get on the bus, and he's sitting down, and the kids are just all over the place. Okay, they're just rowdy and just seem to be out of control, and they're loud, and they're you know up and maybe out of their seats, and not so much that there's a safety issue, but they're just everyone's just looking around like, what's up with these kids, and why is this man just sitting there and not even saying anything to his kids? And oh, and how horrible. How we judge parents when we think we know how their kids should be acting, as if our kids are perfect. But how, and maybe some of you have been in that situation where you get the side eye because your kid does something that maybe someone thought they should not do. And of course, we shouldn't be judging others. That's a whole nother show, you guys. That's a whole nother show. But so here's this man on the bus, kids everywhere. And so finally someone turns to the man and says, "Excuse me, sir, can you please control your kids? Can you please do something about these kids? They're out of hand and they're going on and on and on." And the man looks at them, or the person who had the nerve to say something, and he said, "I apologize. We just came from the hospital, and these kids have just lost their mom. My wife just died." And so you can imagine the person who said something to him, how they must have felt. But if that person stopped for just a moment before opening his or her mouth and said something to that man, and just thought for a moment, maybe something's going on with the kids. Maybe something's going on at home. Maybe, if they had done a paradigm shift, perhaps they would not have said something so harsh to this man. Or maybe they would have softened the questioning, the judgmental comments before saying to this man, "Hey, control your kids," or "Hey, they're not acting the way that they're supposed to," et cetera, et cetera. So again, that is an example of a paradigm shift. You are changing, you're almost putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It requires empathy, compassion, all of those things that are high on the scale with emotional intelligence. And that's a whole nother topic too, emotional intelligence. But things that allow you to adapt and that allow you to see things in a different way. So that's all I'm calling for when I introduce this topic to you, balance versus blend. I just think that there are moms out there who just need to be freed from the weight, from the bondage of this balancing act, from constantly trying to do everything perfectly and do a little bit here and there and everywhere. And yes, you can definitely do that. But again, try blending the domains of your life, blending exactly what is going on in front of you. And it doesn't have to be the same, as I said before. It can be different. It should be different because all of us are different. And every day of your life is going to be different, just depending on your circumstance. So, that is my challenge for you today. Blend the domains of your life and find the blend that works for you. So perhaps you are a mom and you want to live that dream that's been hidden inside your heart. And I can help you do that. As I said before, I am a coach, and I empower moms who want to identify their purpose and live it fully while they're taking care of their families. So schedule a free consultation with me, and we can definitely help you out. When I say we, I'm talking about me. Chatwithcoachangela.com, www.chatwithcoachangela.com. I would be more than happy to assist you any way that I can. And I know that I'll be able to get your dream on track as we get your life on track. So that is all for today. I'm so excited once again that you have joined us for the Angela Anderson Show. And I hope you have a great day wherever you are. And until next time, take good care.